Hey, Divine Ones, it's Jerome Braggs, and I want to come to you and answer some of your questions. I haven't been here in a while on Facebook. I've been having some things come up, so I've been missing my lives with you and sharing this time with you. But you all have submitted several questions over this last week or so, and I wanted to really address those. I've been getting questions in my inbox, in my email. A lot of you have been hitting me up even on my Instagram account. So if you're not following me on Instagram, my Instagram is at Jerome_Braggs. And there's a lot of good stuff going on over there as well. But I've been getting a lot of questions specifically about healing. And so I wanted to come to you and kind of just share some wisdom around your questions, just to share my answers around that. So I'm going to read some of your questions off and then answer them. And if any of you all are watching live and you have additional questions that come up, please post them in the comment section and I'll try to answer them if the time allots. I don't. All right. So let's just dive right in. Okay. So I got a question from on Facebook from Trace Riley. And the question, so Trace, this is your question. I said I was going to answer it, and here it is. So her question is, how does one's vibration, energy, emotions, and beliefs manifest in the womb or at birth for those who begin life with illness, disease, or a chronic health condition? So this is a really, really, really good question. And I get this asked a lot about, specifically about children that come in with illnesses and understanding that everything starts with the energy first before it becomes physical. And so I get asked a lot of the questions around, then what about kids? What about, kids that come in with illnesses or whatever? And like this question, and what happens with them? Like, where does that come from? So I want to address that for a second. This is a beautiful question, so thank you. So first, the first thing is that to understand that kids are souls just like you are. They are no less of a soul. They are no less of God energy than you are. They're God energy just like you are. And they create their lives just like you do. Their lives are reflections of their internal worlds just like yours is. Now, when a baby comes in with an illness, remember, when we're born usually, the majority of us are born fully connected to our divinity, right? There is some forgetting that happens when we become physical, like you pass through a veil to forget some aspects of what you really are, but you're the most connected to your divinity at that time. You're connected to understanding there's nothing wrong with you. You understand that this world is a safe place to be in, and the purpose of it is supposed to be fun. And you come in knowing that all of your needs are met. That's what the majority of us know. However, there are some circumstances that happen. There are two reasons why, two reasons other than why a child will be born with some type of illness or health challenge. One is that is what the particular soul intended to experience when they were here, because that experience is part of the adventure for them. It's the channel that they chose to help them learn how to express more of who they really are, the God energy that they are. It's the challenge that they chose to for this lifetime to help them experience, what it's like to hold the truth of your lovability and the energy of love in that space. Like, all of us come in with some type of challenge that we want, which is where our traumatization or socialization comes from. Like the challenge that we want to move through and learn how to hold the truth of ourselves even in the face of that particular challenge, right? We all have certain things that we desire for that. Some of the souls choose a certain type of disability, quote unquote, what we might term disability, or health challenge sometimes. And that's kind of rare but that's kind of rare. That's rare that's what the soul chooses to do in the first time. What's actually more what happens is what's not actually talked about a lot, but it's when we come into this particular realm, when we come into this earth realm, we come in, with our mothers, right? And when we are in the womb, we're actually one with our mothers. We're not two separate entities yet. We're not two separate things, right? You're literally one with your mother. You're part of your mother. You're a part of her being during that time. And when you come out is when you first experience separation and individuation, right? So that's when your being first experiences it. When you finally are born out and you come out of the womb, that's when you become the individuated part of God energy that is you, right? That's when I became the individuated part of God energy that's Jerome. So when you come out of the womb, but before that time, you're literally a part of your mother. You're one with her. You experience her emotions. You eat what she eats. You're forming and experiencing the love and all of that. So if your mother goes through something very traumatic for her, right, during the pregnancy, right? It could be something, like abuse, or it could be something that makes her feel highly shamed, or it can be something that makes her feel severely afraid, or whatever that is, right? Whatever the circumstance or situation is where that it causes some type of trauma within her, some type of severe trauma while she is pregnant with you, that energy, right? And remember what trauma is. Trauma is something that disconnects us. It disconnects our consciousness and it disconnects our vibration, our energy, how we feel about ourselves from the truth of who we really are, from our divinity, right? And if something happens to her like that while she is pregnant with us, then that energy it shapes us because it's shaping her and it shapes us. And it begins to influence. We influence each other way more through vibration and energy than we do with anything else. And so imagine if you're one with someone, if you're connected with them, if you're a part of their very being, and they're going through something very traumatic that has separated them from the divinity of themselves, and you're one with that, that's going to affect you, and that affects children. And so they become disconnected from the divinity of their being within the womb a bit. And remember, when you're disconnected from your divinity, that drains life force energy out of you. That affects your health. It affects how your life works, all of that. And so sometimes the children will come through with an illness or something like that because of the trauma that was experienced by the mother. There's a lot of science actually coming in now that's talking a little bit about this, but this is kind of what the sages and the mystics and the medicine men have known for a bit, that the well-being of the mother during pregnancy is directly connected to the well-being of the child. So, and even with that, all things can be healed. Your soul, your God energy in physical form, there's nothing impossible to you. There is nothing that is off limits to you, right? Once you're in alignment with your God energy, anything is possible. So the child can heal, but that was just a part of that. So that's usually what's happening, what's going on in that situation when kids come in with illnesses or something like that. Either they chose that experience to help them more embody the God energy and to help them understand how to really fully express the unconditional love that they are, no matter what the circumstances are, right? Unconditionally, like even through an illness, like to be your whole being, or that there was some type of trauma that happened to the mother and that energetically affected the child during pregnancy. And that's kind of what's going on. So, it's not just, we see this a lot sometimes when we see mothers who have gone through some type of addiction while they're pregnant, and that addiction kind of has affected the child and all of that. It also is the same with energy. It's also the same with trauma and wounds and things like that. That kind of affects because you're one. You're not two things yet. You are one being inside the body. So, so that's the answer to that. So I want to move on to the next question. So next question is, my mother was diagnosed, and this came from someone on Instagram. So my mother was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. How can I help her heal? She isn't open to any of this metaphysical stuff. So I love this question. This is really a powerful question. So, and I see you all popping questions in here, so I'll get to those in just a second. So the greatest thing I learned in my healing journey And this is about, how I would have wanted people to help me. And also what I learned through healing, what's really important to help someone else when they just receive a very scary diagnosis or they're going through some type of health challenge. What's really important with that is that you honor what she wants to do and what she feels empowered about. That's what loving her really is. You love her, really short and simply. You love her. Loving her is the best thing you can do. And the one aspect of love that is one of the most healing things to do when somebody's going through a disease or illness is to honor them, to accept where they are, what they believe they need to do for themselves to heal, and to support that. Right? To be a loving, uplifting presence for them, right? And to remind them that they can heal, but that they don't have to heal how you think they need to heal, right? So here's the thing that happens when we're experiencing something. If she doesn't believe in metaphysical things, you don't try to make her, right? Because what you're doing what we do when someone believes in something else and they believe this is what they need to do to heal themselves, and we come in and we say, no, you need to do this, or you need to do this instead, or we try to force things on them, or we try to give them advice about things that they're not asking for. What that actually does is it disempowers them, and it makes them believe that we think, or it makes them believe personally that something's wrong with them, that they don't know the right things for them. It disconnects them from their own inner wisdom, right? So you want to support whatever she believes she needs to do to heal herself, even if you don't personally agree with it. Because if she does something that she believes is going to work for her, and if she's doing something, then what she's doing, anytime we do something that we believe is good for us to do, it charges life force energy through us, through our bodies. It charges God energy through our bodies, and that energy actually helps us heal. But if we start doing things that we think are good for us, and someone comes and says, "Ooh, that's wrong," or "Ooh, you shouldn't be doing that," or "That's not going to make you heal," that's going to actually, that's going to actually take away from your healing. What that actually does is it makes you distrust in yourself. It makes you distrust in what you're doing. And it drains the life force out of your body, and you don't have a sense of empowerment, and you cannot heal when you feel disempowered. You cannot heal when you feel disempowered. So the best thing you can do for your mom and anyone who else is watching, if you have a loved one or someone you really care about who's going through an illness, the best thing you can do for them is to fully support them in the journey that they're taking to heal themselves, and to remind them as lovingly and kind as you can that you truly believe that they can heal, and that you're there. Just listen. Just support her, and also try to help her move through any fear that she's having, right? However you can, help her, feel more loved, be present with her, or just listen to her and help her process and get the fear out. Because any type of fear, when we release fear in our systems, we're returning ourselves back to love energy, which is the only real healing energy in the first place. So make her feel loved, just love her as much as you can. Honor and respect her choices. Honor and respect the choices she is making to heal herself. And if you don't believe in it, if you think she's doing the wrong thing and you really are just really anti for that, you need to pull back from spending time with her, because she will feel that energy. We literally, again, remember when I just started this, that we speak to ourselves more in vibration and energy than any other thing. In whether words, action, anything, what influences people more than anything else is the energy you bring into a space. So if you're bringing the energy into the space that she's doing something wrong, then that's an energy that's not supporting or healing, helping her to heal. So when you really feel like that, you need to step back and give her space. But if you can, just support her decisions, right? Support what she feels. Ask her what she feels like she needs to do to heal herself. Ask her what she feels like she needs to do to, what she thinks will really work for her. Ask her what she really wants to do right now, right? And support her in that. And if she's ever open, if she ever asks you about anything, or if there's an opening, that arises for you to talk about what you believe in as far as healing, then do that. Do it when it's asked. Do it if there's an opening, but don't force, don't push, and don't disempower her. That's the most important thing you can do right now. I'll probably do another video on this later, because I can talk about this a long time, like what I learned, what I really wanted people to do when I was sick, right? When I was going through my journey. And really one of the first things to do is listen to me, right? Honor my choices for what I was choosing to do to heal myself, and affirm my vision for healing. Affirm it. Like, I wanted to heal. Affirm that you also believed and you were holding that vision for me, and just be there and listen when I needed an ear. So try that. Next question, and then I'll get some questions from you all that have posted some here. How can you tell, this comes from Instagram from James. So how can you tell what you need to heal if you don't have any physical symptoms? So what healing really is just the return to love. It's the return of our entire being to love energy, right? To love energy. And love energy is our soul's energy. So any place in your life that's not loved, that doesn't feel love, is what needs to heal. And how do you know what that is, right? So if there's something bothering you, right, that's what you need to heal. If there's something that hurts or is painful, it could be in your relationships, it could be your finances, it could be, in your home, right? Anything that's not working well for you and doesn't feel well and doesn't make you feel a sense of love for yourself or fully love for your life, that is what is being invited to heal. That needs to be healed, right? And usually it falls within, three kind of umbrella areas. As something where you feel like something's wrong with you, like you're not enough some type of way. That something, is less than about you or inadequate. That is, if there's an area in your life, maybe it's a relationship with something, maybe it's your work, maybe it's with your money, whatever. That is what needs to be healed. And what actually needs to be healed is your belief system and your vibration, because anything that's in our internal world, external reality, like in our lived life, is only a reflection of our internal world. And our internal world, again, is what we believe about ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. So, that's that. And so that's one where you think you're not enough, something that makes you feel not enough, or something's wrong with you. That's indication of something to heal about yourself, right? Where you feel unsafe, where you're not trusting that in life, you're not trusting that you're safe. You don't feel at ease, right? So any place you feel stressed, you feel really scared, really fearful, and you don't feel safe. Like, that's the place that's being asked to heal, right? And again, it's about what's within you. Where do you not believe that you're safe in this world? Where you stressed out, overwhelmed, right? Where you don't feel at ease, right? Where any place you don't feel at ease, that needs to be healed. And then any place you feel, that you're not trusting life, where you don't feel like all of your needs are going to be met. Where you're trying to control things, overly control things, or overwhelm, or you're trying to be perfect, that also is a sign that there's something to be healed within you, and it's really around you, where you believe and you feel that all of your needs aren't going to be met, and you need to overexert yourself in order to be okay, right? So that's pretty much the signal. But any place that doesn't really feel good in your life, really feel good to you, it doesn't feel good and taste to you, that's going to be a signal, an external signal, that there's something internally that needs to be healed. All right, so let me look at some of your questions here. Hi, Jerome. How does one begin to heal home clutter? So if you've been following me for a while, I absolutely am. One of the big things for my life is to live really clutter-free. Like, I'm very much about keeping a very clean and clear home space. And so one book I would really suggest is to get this book called Clear Your Clutter with Feng Shui. I can't remember the name of the author, but it's called Clear Your Clutter with Feng Shui. That book changed my life when I read it many years ago. And it really talks about how the clutter in your home is energy, and that energy affects your internal energy and affects your life. So I would look at that. One thing, I live by is a place for everything and everything in its place, and free flowing energy in my home, right? So I would just begin to do that. Get that book. That's where you can really start, because you'll understand why you need to clear your clutter. Because it's one thing to say clean your clutter up, but if you don't understand why, that the energy of your home affects the energy of it affects your health, and it affects how you live your life. And so you want to keep a clean, clear, energized home. And that book, Clear Your Clutter with Feng Shui, will help you greatly. Um, so somebody asked, how can the child heal from trauma, that I talked about earlier? So there's a lot, right? So children are responding more when we're kids. We're very porous energetically. We haven't really learned how to set boundaries and how to be an individualized self yet. So they're very porous. So one thing that we do to help children heal from trauma is you have to heal the trauma in their environment. You have to heal your trauma, right? The child giver's trauma. Right, so it's one thing if I could take this child to therapy or a healer, which is is also beneficial. I used to work a lot with children back in the day when I was solely an energy healer. Um, but you can do that. But if you continue to work with that child and they get these healing effects, but they go right back into the environment that is causing them the stress or the unease or the disconnection, then it's not going to last very long. So you want to heal the environment. Like when children have healed, healthy, high vibrational environments, they stay healed and healthy and high vibrational. So heal yourself as the caregiver. Heal the environment that child is in. Make that child feel loved, reminded that it's loved, that it's enough, that it's safe, that its needs are going to be met, right? But if its needs aren't getting met, if it doesn't feel safe, if it feels threatened somehow in that space, and if it feels like something's wrong with it, it's going to stay, unhealed, because that's what healing is about. So heal the environment and heal yourself. And that will greatly influence the child, because the child takes in what's in the environment. So even if it comes in, if the mother had something that was going on, but she does the work of healing herself and she changes her environment, she will see a reflection in the child. Again, as within, so without. Let's see. How do you move forwards when you've begun to heal from long-term debilitating illness, begun to re-embody your soul, and then experience a setback, feel less connected again? The fragility of hope and healing. So how do you move forwards when you've begun to heal from long-term debilitating illness? So I love this thing that Anita Morjani says. I love this. The teacher, I love Anita Morjani. Her message is very connected to mine, but I love what she says about when she healed cancer and when she healed from cancer and her cancer went into remission. She says the word remission, and she says she really wanted to restructure that word, and I do too, because when we think about remission, it has attachment that this thing can always come back, and I'm afraid, and all of that. But the word remission, what she defines it as, is remember my mission, right? And so when you begin to heal from illness, what healing from illness is really about is remembering and reliving your mission for being here on the planet, which is to have a life that you truly enjoy and to fully love and enjoy yourself. So when you're in this process, what you want to focus again on is, what is your mission for being here? What makes you come alive? What are your passions? What feels like fun for you? Who are the people you love to be around, right? Who are the people that love you and that you love? Get reconnected with them. Connect with them. Get deeply connected with them. And start living your passions. Whatever you think you would do, that if you were fully well, like you sit right now and ask yourself, how would I live? What would I do if I got the notice from my doctor right now that I was fully healed, that this was done? How would I live my life now? And start doing that. That's your mission, right? So I know for me, that's traveling more, seeing more of my friends, sharing more of my story, right? And that's what I'm doing now. Do more of that now. Remember your mission and stay there. If you get in your mission, you won't relapse. Relapses in illness, why illnesses come back in our bodies, is because we go back into the toxic ways of living that is outside of our mission for being here. So when you stay in alignment with your mission, that charges life force energy through you. Life force energy is health energy, is wellness energy. You stay well. When you go back and you go back to being disconnected from your mission, then you have to get the illness again, which is the wake up call anyway to return to your mission. So I hope that helps you. Um, Hi, I've asked this before, but do you believe it's possible to heal teeth that's already decaying? Yes, I fully believe. Again, I believe anything can be healed in the body. I believe there's no state in the body that of decay or disease that cannot be healed. The question is to really understand why that's happening for you. Like, what's the message behind it? And then get the message and then follow your guidance. Your guidance will tell you exactly what to do to heal that, right? I can't say this is exactly what you do to heal your teeth, but I can say anything that arises in our body is a reflection of something that's going on internally. It always starts energetically first. It is energetic first. It is energetic, usually a disconnection from the divine truth of ourselves, which is the joy, where we drain life force energy from our body somehow, meaning we're not happy or we're doing something that makes us feel wrong, or we've been feeling wrong, or we've been betraying ourselves or stressing out or doing something, but it's something internally that needs your attention to return it back to the vibration of who you really are, which is the love vibration. Usually when you address that, then the physical illnesses start to, diminish and begin to heal and return to well-being as well. When you return your energy to well-being, your physical body returns to well-being. Every kind of body ailment has a message behind it for you. And you just want to tune into that. And you tune into that mainly by asking your body, like, what do you need from me right now? What's your message? Not what's the lesson, because this is not about teaching you something. This is about a message, like just kind of an indicator, right, of kind of where you've been out of alignment with yourself, where you need to reconnect with yourself, where you need to change your lifestyle to be more joyful and more loving, where you need to change your beliefs about yourself to be more joyful, more loving, something about that. But if you ask your body will tell you, like, tune into your teeth, take a few deep breaths, especially in the morning, and ask, what do you need from me? What's the message you have for me around this, right? And listen, and then follow what it says, right? Really follow what it says. The message may be you've been eating things that you believe you shouldn't be eating, and that's shaming yourself, and there's shame in your body. And so your body is draining life force energy out, right? It may be that, it may not. It could be anything around that, but just ask that. But anything can be healed when we actually listen and we make the shifts in order to do that. All right. So yeah, I love that too. Remember your mission, remember your mission, remember your mission. So yeah, you say, I feel bad about eating sugar. Yeah. And so if you feel bad about eating something so here's something else, if you feel bad about something and you do it anyway, what you're doing is you're telling yourself, I'm doing something wrong. That's energetically, I'm doing something wrong. And that is literally like poisoning yourself. It is literally like energetically taking in poison. Whether you're doing it in your life or you're doing it in your body. So when you eat something and you believe I'm eating something that's wrong for me, it literally poisons you in that moment. It poisons your energy. And if you keep doing it, then you're literally going, just like if you kept drinking poison, you're going to have a physical manifestation that says you've been drinking poison. So the thing is to either to stop doing that or to change your thought process around that particular thing. Instead of believing that it's wrong, how can you start to look at it as something that you're going to you want to get value from it and pleasure from it, right? So right now you're getting pleasure, but you don't believe you're getting value. So you want to change your thoughts so that it allows you to get value from that and pleasure. That way there you're not wronging yourself, right? And doing something that you feel is wrong to do, or making yourself feel like you're doing something wrong, is one of the most toxic things in our system. It is one of the most toxic things. It drains life force energy out of the body more than most things. There are some other things that drain life force energy, like shame and fear, but also when you're doing something wrong, that you believe is wrong to do. That drains life force energy out of you a lot, and you cannot continue to do that and not have some physical manifestation that will mirror that soon. So, thank you all. I know I've gotten some of your questions. I see some of these other ones. I may have to address them in another video. I have to go to another appointment here in a minute. But I hope these have answered some of your questions. Thank you so much for submitting them. I'll try and do one of these Q&A videos once a week if my time will allow. But that's my intention, to come and do one of these once a week. But I hope these have answered you, and you've got some awareness around healing and well-being, and this will help you shift your life to a more delicious and well experience. As always, I love you. Go out there and heal and live more deliciously.